So, but when I do meet people, when I do have friends, I feel like we locked in. For my friends and my family, if I have, you have. Like, we're locked in. But one problem or problems I seem to always encounter is one, I'm very generous and I have a big heart. So if I end up meeting people, I realize that I'm very generous, and some people see me as a money pit, or they try to find a way to use me. So that's one reason. The title of this video was going to be reasons why I don't have friends. But honestly, we're just gonna talk about a few other things. But one is, for the most part, most of my life, once I finished school back in 2013, I became very financially stable. And me, I have this thing where if I want to do something, you don't have money, I don't care that you don't have money. We are friends, we locked in, okay? So I'm like, let's go. It's nothing, let's go. Well, what happened with that and me is I would sometimes end up getting people who had it to spend, but they would pretend that they didn't have it to spend, or will always just pretend to be broke around me because they know that I'm cool, and we'll get there and they're like, oh, well, I ain't gonna be able to pay, like I stuff like that. And another one is like anytime I have boyfriends, like me and the boyfriends that I did have, like even though things didn't work out, they were always very honest with me. And that's one thing I always ask people. So um I had this one cousin, it's like a close cousin of mine. And years ago, one of my boyfriends was like, "You should really watch your cousin. She just like sneaky stuff behind your back. Watch her." So I was like, "Okay." And then sometimes people will make you think like, "Oh, they just don't like your bump your cousin." Blah 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 blah. So ultimately, I found out that she was trying to date him, and he was trying to tell me without hurting the relationship that I had with my cousin. So yeah, I mean, he and I, we ended up breaking up, but him telling me that, it just was a thought in my mind. So, anyways, I forgave her. Fast forward, moved on. I started dating someone else, and oh, what did she do? Try to backdoor me. So I'm like, you know what? Cut off. Because you did it one time and I forgave you because I'm like, okay, you're a little young, maybe you don't understand girl code. But now you do it again, cut off. So I had another cousin who was pretty much like, I don't know, we were kind of young, we would go on trips and everything together. We had a good time. But one time I was like, I gotta cut her off, was we went to see these boys, and at the time one dude had made a really bad comment about me and she was laughing. So I'm like, for this guy to say something mean about me, you laugh. No. After, because me, how I want me and my friends to be, nobody's disrespecting us. Period. Okay. If he says something about you, I'm not going for it. I'm not. If if I have a friend and somebody's saying something bad about my friend, I'm not gonna be like, no, excuse me. What you not here laughing like goofy. So yeah, all y'all, you too, cut out. So I realized that. Then I had another person who I thought was like a friend of mine, but it just seems like people want to be close to you to know your moves. They want to know what you do. They see you living a good life. They see you thriving. They want to be close to you. They want to know how you move, because there have been so many times where they'll get close to me and like they're my friends, and then be like, "Oh, girl, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, one thing I like to do is, I'm not gonna lie, I like to go to the casino. I like to go to Alabama. I don't gamble a whole lot, and then I do set a limit. So, one thing I like to do is go to the casino, and one time I invited somebody out with me. We had a good time, and then like after that, then I had this one girl who she was like, "Oh, it's my birthday." And I'm like, "Well, how are you gonna celebrate?" She was like, "Oh, I don't know. I ain't really got no friends. Ain't nobody saying this." So I said, "Don't worry, I'll take y'all for your birthday. Let's go celebrate." So we go celebrate. We have a good time. Fast forward to next year, She had a party, did not invite me, but suddenly she had a whole bunch of girls to hang around. So I'm just like, that's why I really don't have friends, because I feel like people are wishy washy, and I don't got time for it. Like, people always try to betray me, or people always try to do some sneaky stuff, and I'm not okay with it. So I just be alone. So y'all comment down below. What are your friendships like? I know I'm not the only one.